Good morning. I don't know if it's really early. It's like 7 a.m. But I realized some things that I wanted to share with particularly my mom friends. Hey, Harley. Hope you're feeling better, sweetie. Good morning, Don Harrison. Don, this may actually be something I need you to listen to. You may have some wisdom for me on this. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Chewy. I realized yesterday that I am navigating new waters as a wife and a mother and a parent. And I say parent because this is not just something that mothers would go through. Also as a Christian. So I want to talk to you about a little bit about something that you can look up and understand, and then I want to tell you a little bit about the spiritual application of it. I've done a little bit of reading this morning about the Panama Canal system, and the Panama Canal is actually 50 miles long, and it takes the average vessel 8 to 10 hours to navigate through that lock system. And I don't know if you know much about a lock system, but basically you're taking a boat over a stretch of ground. Morning, Layla. And in that process, like I said, it takes about 8 to 10 hours. And good morning, Tammy. In that 8 to 10 hours, when a boat begins to cross the Panama Canal lock system, the canal pilot takes over operation of that boat, or he may give the captain very specific instructions, particularly if the captain is one that has navigated that lock system before, or a very well seasoned captain. But many times the canal pilot will actually come on board the ship and take control of that ship while the ship is crossing the canal, because it takes a very specific set of movements and steering and all that kind of thing. A lot of nautical stuff that I don't completely understand, but I do understand some things about that from a very practical human standpoint. I've never crossed the Panama Canal, and I would imagine for most people, except for maybe ship captains, crossing the Panama Canal is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing, or even visiting it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and many people don't cross it. But it occurred to me that crossing the Panama Canal is much like navigating a new season in life. And I'm navigating a new season in life right now. Jackson will be 20 years old next Saturday. Aaron will be 18 in June. And so for 20 years, like Jeff and I got married in April of 98. I was pregnant by May. So I have never not been a mom in our marriage. Okay? Even while I was pregnant, I was a mom. And so much of my purpose and who I am and who I felt like God was using me to be has been wrapped up in being a mother. Now, I will always be a mother to Jackson and Aaron, and I understand that. But this is a new season for me. I am navigating the seas of being a constant mother to being a 24/7, 365 woman who is needed by her children, to being a woman who is still a mother, much like a ship travels across the canal. It's still a ship. It's still traveling in water, but it's new water. There's different things. There's different rules. There's different countries. There's different climates, different ports of call, different navigational folks that they consult with when they cross the Panama Canal. And so it occurred to me that I am in the canal. And that's why I did a little bit of reading about the Panama Canal, because I wanted to know, how does that happen? How do people cross the canal when they've never done it before? And that's when I read about the canal pilot being the one that overtakes the controls of the ship. And I thought, well, what does the captain do when the canal pilot is taking over the ship? And I would think probably for a captain that is never going to do it again, like this is not their regular shipping lane, not their regular travel lane, that they would probably just sit back and let the pilot do his thing. Trust the pilot that's done it many times before. Trust the pilot that knows what he's doing. And then when they get back out into those waters where they are comfortable, they'll take back control of their ship. Now, this does not fully translate to my walk as a Christian, because I strive daily to allow God to have control of my ship at all times, no matter what waters I'm navigating. But it occurs to me as I'm traveling between these seasons of life, as I've got these 6 to 8 months before Aaron goes to college, that I need to kind of back off, be still, and let the Lord do a work in me. Let Him get me to the other side. Let Him show me some things. If you've ever looked at the Panama Canal, it's very narrow. Some ships clear with just a matter of inches on each side. And so as I'm traveling through this narrow canal of, just really not knowing what's next for my life, I want to be very careful to let the pilot have complete control. I don't want to scrape by. I certainly don't want to crash, because if I crash in the canal, I don't get to travel in the new water. If you have a major accident in the canal, you don't get to travel in the new water. Your trip comes to at least a greater delay than 8 to 10 hours. Now, I would imagine also as a captain of a ship, it's very frustrating to be traveling along, and the average boat takes, it's like I said, it's 50 miles long. The average vessel takes about an hour to an hour and a half to travel 50 miles, depending on weather conditions and speed. But that Panama Canal is going to take 8 to 10 hours every time. So I can imagine for a captain that has known its way and has been doing its thing, to suddenly be slowed down to 8 to 10 miles an hour, 8 to 10 hours to travel what normally would take him an hour to an hour and a half. If the captain isn't careful, he's going to get a little bit frustrated. And I don't want to do that. Excuse me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get frustrated with this time in the canal. I listened to a Priscilla Shirer sermon yesterday, and there were many things in it that I needed to hear, but one of the things she reminded me of is Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. The weight of that verse fell heavy on me. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Much like a ship's captain that has been traveling its way for quite some time and now has to relinquish complete control to the canal pilot to travel these 50 miles between waters. That captain has to be still. There's nothing for him to do. I'm in a season of being still. And I'm a little bit scared. I've not been given a spirit of fear. And so I will have to rebuke that fear. But I'm headed towards new waters. And that's a little scary, but it's also really exciting because I don't know what kind of change that can mean. Yes, I'll still be Jackson and Aaron's mother. I'll always be their mother. But I'm going to be traveling into some new waters. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what's on the other side of this 50 miles of stillness. So I just wanted to share that with you this morning and share with you that maybe you're going through a season of 50 miles of stillness. And if you are, it's okay. Just be still. Let the pilot navigate for a little while. You're going to be okay. You're going to come out good on the other side. Hope you have a great day. It's Thursday. It's Friday Eve. So have a great day. Be light for somebody today. I love you all.